When you look at this photo, do you think of it as art, graffiti, or vandalism? What is your opinion of graffiti? I have been asked this question multiple times, and each time my response is, it's complicated. Hearing this reply, most people give me a confused look, tilting their head as if I were describing my relationship status on Facebook. In which case, I ask them the same question. What is your opinion of graffiti? Is it art, or is it vandalism? Each time this question arises, depending on the circumstance, my answer is different. On second thought, before I get ahead of myself, let me start at the beginning where this topic started to cultivate. It all began the day that I was accepted into the 3-month postgraduate program ARCA, the Association for Research into Crimes Against Art, which took place in Italy. While in Italy, I pursued my passion and my love for art, but not in the way that I was expecting. Throughout the summer, I learned about cultural heritage, art theft, vandalism, museum security, art law, becoming an author, being able to spot a fake Da Vinci, and even the basics of insurance appraisal. I visited Pompeii, the Colosseum, the Vatican, and museums with old master paintings dating back hundreds of years. As amazing as these sights were to see, you wouldn't believe which pieces of art grabbed my attention. It just so happened to be the street art and graffiti I saw in Rome. The work of graffiti artists was everywhere, including the sides of buildings, tunnels, trains, and even sidewalks. This picture is one that I captured outside of a store created by a local and popular street artist. I know. It sounds a bit contradictory considering I am in this beautiful country learning about art crime. And the one thing that caught my eye is what most of society considers vandalism. Oh, wait a second. Didn't I say I was going to start at the beginning? Okay, all right. This time, I mean the real beginning. Let's explore where graffiti originated, as well as the artists who have brought this artistic movement to the forefront of the 21st century. The earliest known acts of graffiti date back to 17,000 years ago, in the Lascaux caves of France. In 1940, a couple of teenagers accidentally wandered into these caves only to find drawings of animals, human figures, and abstract designs on the walls. However, it doesn't stop there. During my class trip to Pompeii, I discovered that graffiti has been quite prominent in this archaeological site. Dating all the way back to 78 BC, there is a simple act of graffiti that reads, Gaius Plumidius Diphilus was here. Now, we obviously don't know who Mr. Diphilus is, but what we do know is that this is proof that writing on the walls has been instilled in humans since the beginning of time. Graffiti really started to emerge in 1970 to 1980, exploding on the street scene of New York City. Jean-Michel Basquiat was an emerging artist from Brooklyn in the 70s known for his tag, Samo. For those who are unfamiliar with the term tag or tagged, it refers to the most basic form of graffiti, such as a writer's signature, using a marker or spray paint. Leading into the 1980s, Basquiat established even more recognition by collaborating with David Bowie and Andy Warhol. Additionally, Basquiat paved the way for artist Keith Haring, who quickly took the spotlight with his artwork on the New York City subways in the mid-1980s. Haring discovered an alternative art scene while attending the School of Visual Arts in NYC. He began engaging in acts of graffiti by drawing images with white chalk on the simple black background of vacant advertising spaces. His graffiti depicted images of life, love, sex, and death, which quickly became the topic of conversation for NYC subway riders. However, even with all of his successful work, in 1986, he opened a store called Pop Shop. This was a significant event in Haring's life because he understood the importance of making his art available to the public. For a staggering 22 years, Pop Shop sold everything from clothing to gift items, exhibiting his signature design. Moving forward to the early 21st century, the artist Shepard Fairey became internationally known for his Hope poster, which was the symbol of the 2008 presidential election. By this point, Shepard Fairey had been on the street art scene for quite some time and already had a prosperous career with images depicting Andre the Giant. He originally made the Hope poster as a nonpartisan memorial to, at the time, Senator Barack Obama. This image swept across media outlets and rapidly posed as the iconic symbol of the 2008 U.S. presidential election. After officially being adopted by the Obama campaign, Shepard Fairey skyrocketed and became a household name. This brings us to one of the most well-known contemporary street artists, Banksy. Banksy is an international artist who works with stencils depicting clever, politically based commentary that has made his work recognizable, as well as accepted and desired within society. Born in the UK, Banksy first came on the street scene in the mid-1990s, and his artwork was recognized in the early 2000s when he traveled to Palestine and West Bank, where he stenciled 9 images on the Bethlehem Wall that were socially and politically charged. His film, Exit Through the Gift Shop, was released in 2010, which gave viewers an insight into the world of street art. In 2017, a documentary was created called Saving Banksy, which focuses on the unauthorized sellers of his graffiti work and investigates the controversial viewpoints of urban art and financial acquisitions. While Banksy was not necessarily the first artist to make clever use of stencils, he was the first to make such an impact on the urban art scene that essentially he became famous. Even though this artist has risen to fame, he continues to stay anonymous even today, hoping to protect himself from the forces of law and order. In the words of the quality vandal himself, some people become cops because they want to make the world a better place. Some people become vandals because they want to make the world a better looking place. Most artwork that I've seen has been inside of a museum, although it does not necessarily mean that all art is destined to be hung in one. This fine line between art and transgression has not been resolved, and as far as we know, the discussion of the topic may just be beginning. Essentially, urban art is going to continue being a part of history, regardless of its longevity. Some people may consider urban art vandalism. Others consider urban art to be exactly what it is, art that surrounds individuals within their own environment. You see, the answers are not always black and white, and sometimes you just need a splash of color in your life to be able to see clearly.